Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media in association with Well Ice Therapy and Still Hub Management. And he's just over a week away from his next fight, Mr. Bradley Ray. It's very nice to see you, mate.
Good to see you, mate. How's things? All good?
Oh, good here. And what about you, mate? You're up in Blackpool training away nice and hard.
All good, mate. By the seaside, living the life, aren't I? You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's all right, mate. Cracking on. Blackpool, isn't it?
Well, you'll be lucky in a week or so because once your fight's over, Blackpool Pleasure Beach is open. You'll be able to get on the big one again.
Yeah, laughing, mate. Fish and chips, donkey ride down the prom, straight to the big one, and then go on the pleasure beach. Come out, go like Mark Kelly's or something, and then yeah, laughing, mate. Bit of stick of rock or something, some candy floss, some
And
donuts.
so I tell
Got
you
it
what,
all, mate.
I,
Go in the arcades.
I might come myself.
Sounds like a good day out, that, doesn't it?
It does, mate. It does. So listen, last time out, a really, really good second round knockout. Very, very impressive, Bradley Ray, and slightly different style. How do you sort of review that fight for you? How was it for you, that fight?
Yeah, it's a good win. It's like you say, it's not the level of opposition that I've been in with previously. Like I know that, you know what I mean. I know
Yeah.
I was boxing at a good level, and the opposition probably has dipped in my last two fights, but I've changed coach. I've coming off a bit of a break, and I think my manager Steve thought it'd be a good idea to jump on a few small shows and give it time to adapt with my new coach and make sure the hands okay, and that's what we've been doing. And again, this next one, similar kind of opposition for me. Like I'm chomping at the bit. Like I'm ready to go, but it's just holding me back a little bit. One more fight, and I think they are probably right. I think this fight after this fight, again Saturday night,
Yeah.
next Saturday, looking to get the win, and then move on to bigger and better things. But one thing, like I knew when I'd be on these smaller shows, I'd be in with your foreign journeymen and stuff like that. But I wanted to go out and do a job on him. Not just beat him like everyone else beats him. You know what I mean? I wanted to do a job on these kids, like if they don't get stopped very often. I wanted to stop him if they
No.
don't get put over. I wanted to be putting them over, wanted to be hurting them, and I feel like I've done that. But yeah, hopefully another win on Saturday, and then ready to push on.
I was going to talk about that because obviously you're sort of tweaking your style a little bit and getting used to the new training regime, and quite frankly, you looked really good on the last fight. You've had a bit more time, and you've not got a rubbish opponent. I mean, this opponent's coming off I think a first round knockout in his last fight. He's a very, very hard sort of
Being that, it's
task
my
man,
luck,
isn't
isn't
he?
it? My luck. These journeymen just start hitting one of the form, and they fight me,
Yeah.
gym kids, and that's my luck. That.
But I think you're right. Steve Woods has done the right thing and given you a couple of, they weren't easy fights, but because of the way you've sort of changed and, your levels, I wouldn't say you found them easy, but you definitely, you know, controlled those fights and did what you wanted to do in those fights, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've ticked boxes that I
Yeah.
wanted to tick, and I've ticked boxes for Steve. I've ticked boxes, for Andy, and for myself. And now, like, take a couple more on next Saturday, and then like you say, ready to go.
Well, the one thing I like is the fact that you're starting to get a bit busy. You got a little bit of what's the word? Um, you are keeping busy. You're going to get probably maybe four fights, maybe five if you push it this year. I mean, I know you're wanting to go back up on the big stage, and that's slightly longer training camps and harder to make fights, but I can't see you getting less than four in this year.
Yeah, I want to be active. I want to be
That's
busy.
the word.
I had that 11 month active.
Yeah.
I had that 11 months out, mate, and it was shit. It was torture, and I just want to be in there fighting at the end of the day. It was frustrating, and then like I say, I've had three fights back to back now on the small hall circuit, and after this fight, again, what it used to be with me, mate, it'd be like I'm either flat out in camp or I'm not. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
when I moved to Blackpool, one thing I said to myself, to make a few changes. I'm not getting ready for fights. I'm staying ready for fights, and I'll probably have a few days off after this fight next week, and then get straight back in the gym and
Yeah,
stay off the takeaways, stay out the pubs and that, and just stay ready, mate. You know what I mean? I know that the camps are tough and the camps are grueling, and you need a bit of downtime and stuff. But you know what I mean? I just
you're
not
right
taking
there.
it to the extremes, not taking it to the extremes, mate. And I'm hoping that get straight back in a couple of weeks training, and if something comes up on a big show, like I'll be ready. You know what I mean? Throw me in.
Well, you've still got, I think, a couple of fights left on Boxer. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Yeah, I think so. I'm hoping to get on a boxer show, on back on Sky, and yeah, I just leave all that down to Steve, mate, and to
Yeah,
management and my team, and give me a date, tell me I'm fighting, I'll turn up and I'll fight. Um, I leave all that to them, but yeah, I'm ready to get back on the big shows. You know what I mean? And I'm in a stacked division now. I'm in a good division. It's
definitely are.
good fights to be made, and you know, I don't feel like I'm out of place with any of them. You know what I mean?
No.
They all probably look at the Denny fight and write me off a little bit, and but I'm coming back to prove everyone wrong. You know what I mean? And I think if people do overlook me, I think they'll get a bit of a shock.
Yeah, and I think if they've done their homework on you and they watch the last fight and probably this next fight as well, they'll start to see how commanding you are in that ring. I mean, obviously we've seen quite a lot of your fights, but the last fight, I know you say it was a journeyman, but you were a different Brad in there. You just looked like you were commanding every single second of that ring, and that's kind of what we've wanted to see from you. Even at that level, I think that excites people like us. We know how good you are. We know your levels are right up there. But I now would be really, really, looking forward to a big fight on a boxer or a matchroom card against a really big, big name. Because I think that, like you've said, there'll be a little bit of a shock coming because, people do underestimate boxers that have, took a loss, and that's to their peril, I think. I think you're right up there now, and I applaud you for, doing what you've done, mate. It's not an easy place being sort of out for 11 months, and you look like you're enjoying your boxing now.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course, it was like obviously difficult after the loss, and we all have bad days, mate. You know what I
Of
mean? Like
course.
you just might miss the bus, or you know what I mean, step in a puddle on the way to work or whatever. If you're a boxer, like you get your head punched
If
in,
that's
you
your
have your
bad day, then I'm happy. I'll take that.
no, you mean like when you're a boxer, you have a bad day. You know what I mean? You're getting punched in the head, and I done it in front of don't know how many thousand people live on Sky Sports. You know what I mean? It was shit. It was a tough one, and it wasn't even tough because I got beat. It was tough because of the way I performed, and I know it. I know I can do better.
But what people
Um,
don't realize, and a lot of people probably don't know, is you broke your hand in about the second or third round, didn't you?
it was a bit later in the fight. You know what I mean? It's no. You know me, man. I'm not the one to say and make
No, I know you're
excuses.
not, but it has to be taken into consideration. And that ninth round, had the referee not been a little bit quick on a certain decision, you may well have had a different result in that fight, regardless of how that fight ended.
Yeah, it's buffs and mate. It's buffs and maybes, isn't it, mate? Like I'm glad, mate. For me, when I look back, like I'm glad glad
Yeah,
it happened. With where we are, it put me on a path to be where I am now. And like I say, I'm happy now. I'm enjoying me
yeah,
fighting. I feel like I'm a different fighter. And I think I'll look back in years to come, and I'll probably thank Tyler Denny. I'll probably thank
yeah,
the ref for taking a point off. You know what I mean? I think it's done me the world of good. I think
yeah.
when I look back in my career, I think it's gonna be a night that kind of changed the trajectory of my career. I think.
Yeah, a bit of a turning point for you.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, listen, a lot of people know you've got a couple of very good mates in the boxing industry as well. Mr. Danny Balls had a good old show over in Dublin recently, and of course, Connor Walker, he's making a bit of a name for himself. The boy, isn't he? European champion now. And from what we hear on the quiet, there's two or three very big names.
And even European is not fucking European champion. Is WBA fucking something.
Continental. Sorry, you know what I mean. He says it. He larges it up. He bigs it up. But listen, he's got a good. It's intercontinental, I think it is, isn't it? Something like that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to look it up now, otherwise he's gonna absolutely roast me. Um, but listen, he's doing very well for himself. He's put up some very good performances, and there's a couple of big names in the offing. We've had the name Josh Kelly. There's a few names up there. Dennis Ritson has been mentioned as well. Lewis Ritson, sorry. Where do you think the boy goes next? Because he's at that crossroads now where he's going to go for it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's flying, mate. He's hitting a run of form. He's confident. He's happy in the gym. He's enjoying his boxing, and mate, he can. Like I've sparred plenty around with Conor, mate. If you're gonna stand in front of him, if you're gonna take the fight to him, fucking good luck. To be honest, you know what I mean. Any of them welterweights, I think he can stand up and he can mix it with the very best. And a lot of them will watch him and they'll think they've got what it takes to beat him. They'll think they have a game plan, and it's just different when he's in front of you, mate. He's a strong, solid fighter, and he's relentless. And over the rounds as well, mate, he can break you down. And like you say, mate, it's a great division. It's a good division. I went over to Belfast. To watch him, mate, and
Yeah.
you had like Donovan on the card, like Crocker. Like I know Crocker well as well, mate. Fucking like them two with the fight, that'd be some fight.
Paddy Donovan's one of the names that have been mentioned as well, actually quite seriously by Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, like I say, mate, he will fight anyone. He will get in with absolutely anyone. Just give him a date and he'll be there. And like I say, mate, he's another one who's probably been overlooked at times, and now he's on a hot run of form, mate. But yeah, sick of hearing about it, to be honest, mate. We should shut up telling me about like how much he was on the zone and that. Sick of hearing about it, mate.
Well, I'm glad I brought it up. But
Go on.
I guess the point of it is it's nice to see the three or four lads that all kind of know each other and spar each other and help each other out in the boxing world, all starting to, take the right path and get somewhere and actually enjoy their boxing.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course, because it's like for me as well. It's like wasn't long ago. He got beat in an 8-round fight. Like
Samuel Antwi, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, against Antwi and then against Gardner. You know what I mean? And then like the way he's bounced back. I remember when I went to watch him against Cyrus. Like I remember speaking to him. I made FaceTime me after it. And he was in bed with his takeaway and that. And I left all my mates in Birmingham the piss, and I drove back to Manchester on my own. And I just got in and I got a FaceTime and it was off him. It's about 2 a.m. And he was sat in bed with his belt and his takeaway, and he just said, "Yeah, you know what you got to do now." He was like, "You got to get it." And for like motivation, that's it gave me a kick up the arse. I was like, I'm not letting this fucker get ahead of me.
So listen, you mentioned it's a stacked division now, and it's quite an exciting division. I know you said you're going to leave it to Steve, but obviously the boxer has some say in what they do next. Is there a couple of names out there that maybe you'd like to jump in with?
Look, anyone, mate. It's just anyone. Not ask me.
Title time again?
Anyone. I think so, mate. I'd like to say I missed out on that English title. I'd love the English title. I'd love a shot at the English title, and I feel like I'm ready. Anyone in that kind of top 20. I'm good to go. I know, but like I want to gradually build myself up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I know a lot of people say it to me, but like, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not asked about big paydays and stuff. You know what I mean? That'll come with time, and I think get the picking up the English title, it's a good point to kind of assess and move on from there. And like you say, I'd love, obviously missed out on that English title last time. I'd love to pick it up. So yeah,
Mm.
you know, that's kind of at the forefront of my mind at the moment.
There's a crop of Manchester sort of boxers that are all kind of picking up those English titles and get up to that British level. I remember speaking to Michael Gomez Jr. a couple of weeks back. When winning that English title to him was like 50% of his goals. He wants the British title, and he's not worried about a world title. He said like once he's won the British title, he'll fight anyone. You know, all that nonsense. He'll do whatever he needs to, but that was the goal for him is that British title, and winning the English was halfway to the British. It's nice to see that there's quite a lot of sort of local boxers to us in that sort of fold, and it seems to be more and more and more at the moment. That English title is a real good sort of doorway to the bigger ones, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and it's a prestigious title. I mean, it's been around for ages, and you can get some very good fights for the English title. And
Mhm.
like you say, it's a stacked division. I'm sure if I can get a shot at it, like whoever I'm in there against, I'm sure it'll be a great fight.
Yeah. I'm not going to keep you much longer, but just a couple more questions, mate. Um, Obviously you've been now up in Blackpool for a little bit of time. We can see the changes. What do you think personally your main sort of positive has been from making the switch and coming up there? Apart from the discipline, of course, what would you say has improved a little bit in your game that makes you now feel like you're right ready again to get out there and go at that top level?
I think my mentality's changed a little bit as well. Me,
Mm.
I'm a lot more confident in my ability, and a lot of changes have gone on. Feel like I mixed up my style a little bit. I feel like I'm hitting harder. Moved up in weight, obviously. But I think now, like I used to watch kids in my division, or I used to watch like possible fights, and I think, well, I'd fight that. I think I could beat him, but I'd fight now. And now I sit on a Saturday night or whatever, or I see, look at the ranking, then I think, yeah, beat him, beat him, beat him. You know what I mean? Let's go, put him in front of me. And like you say, I want to gradually build up to these fights, but I'm confident in my ability now. I know what I can do, and I
Yeah.
think that what, like I say, a lot of people kind of wrote me off a little bit, and I've got a point to prove, and people haven't really seen me when I've got me back against the wall, and I've got a point to prove, and I'm looking forward to proving a lot of people wrong.
Well, listen, an old stablemate of yours is also on the bill, young Jack Murphy. He's doing really, really well. He's starting to make a few tongues wag. He's done well, hasn't he, Jack?
Yeah, I keep seeing videos of him on the pad. He's always sharp, Jack, to be fair. He could come in off a 2 week holiday, not training once, and he'd be sharp. But I was
Yeah.
watching him the other day. Yeah, he's looking extra sharp. And yeah, speak to Blaine quite a bit. Seen Ricky last weekend.
Yeah.
Both told me he's looking well. So yeah, looking forward to. I think with Jack, you'll see how good he really is
Steps
when he
up.
steps when he's in there with a good kid. You'll be able to see how good he is. And I'm really look. I've seen it in the gym. I've seen him sparring these top kids in the gym, and I've seen how he copes with them. So just makes me a little bit more excited to see him in some big fights eventually.
Yeah, and it's nice to see one of your old sort of, I guess, proteges because they all looked up to you in that gym at that point. It's nice to see them coming through and doing well.
I looked up to him. I used to watch him. I think, wish I could do that.
Well, he lives the life, put it that way. And of course, one of your bezies, Chloe Watson, EBU champion, and I hear another big fight coming soon for her as well. She's done incredibly well.
Yeah, I spoke to Chloe again the other day. She's said she's flying at the moment, and I think it was the night before my last fight she boxed.
She
I
did,
think
yeah.
it's yeah. What's it? Chilled out in mine. I was gonna go, to be fair, but she told me not to. She told me to rest up for the fight.
Good
But
debut for your fight, wasn't it?
yeah. But no, buzzing for her, mate. She's flying, and I think a couple of defences, and she'll be looking at moving on to world honours. The experience she's had. She's obviously done a lot as an amateur and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's flying at the moment, and yeah, looking forward to see what she can do.
And of course, next week, same sort of, I think the day before your fight is Mr. Anthony Joshua. How dare he steal your thunder, mate? Um, Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. Surely is going to be a very quick fight, mate.
We said this about Fury, you know what I mean? I do think Joshua. Mate, I can't possibly see Ngannou getting knocked out by anybody. He's just
I spoke to Matty Harris yesterday at the Wasserman press conference, who'd been
yeah,
sparring Ngannou, and he went,
seeing that.
he's a lovely bloke, but he can't box."
He looked fucking all right against Fury, and Fury's supposed to be. I do think Fury underestimated him, but I think he was better than we all expected. It was a lot better. I don't think it was that Fury had that much of a bad day. I think Ngannou was better than we all thought. But after watching that, AJ won't have overlooked him, and I think AJ gets the win. I can't see him hurting him. I can't see him knocking him out. I really can't. But maybe get stopped on his feet for his shots. But mate, he's just got a massive head and Garnet. Like, how do you knock him out? Honestly, his head's massive.
The big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big lump, mate.
Yeah, he is. Well, listen, mate. Always a pleasure to talk to you, mate. On and off camera. Um, I'm just so pleased that you're doing well and that you're in that right frame of mind now, and the boxing's winning, and I really like that. I think I'd like to see you in a big fight. Sort of June, July time, right up there on the big channels where you deserve to be. You're working hard, and I really hope that happens for you, mate. I really do.
Me too, mate. Me too. It's coming. It's coming. Just keep grinding away. Like I say, I'm no doubt. I'm more than happy. I'm not asked about jumping back on big shows, getting in big fights, big paydays, and that. Like I've gone and grafted behind closed doors. You know what I mean? On the small hall circuit, and I've not been on social media much. You know what I mean? I've
No,
been flying on the radar, and I'm hoping to come back, step up gradually, English title, back into some big fights, and like I say, I think I'm gonna surprise a few people, hopefully, mate. So looking forward to it myself.
me too, mate. Me too. Listen, mate, we'll let you get off. I know you got your routine to stick to. Really appreciate it. It's always good to talk to you, mate. And best of luck next week. I'm assuming there's a couple of tickets left. People can come along if they want to.
Yeah, mate. Still got some tickets left. I think it's show selling out fast. It's going to be a good show. I think there's some good fights on it, but I've still got a few tickets left. Where we're sliding to them DMs. You know where I am.
Well, listen, mate. Hope it all goes well. Looking forward to seeing that, and we'll catch you soon, mate. Really, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Nice one, mate. Thanks. See you soon.
Take care, mate.